Peace, love, good health, and black power.
Yes,
I
sir.
got my main man with me.
All right. Yes, sir.
Hey,
yes,
Tim,
sir.
before we start, can I do a couple shout outs?
Of course. Yeah.
Man, first I want to shout out my high school, the Rough Riders. We're going to the Turkey Bowl.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, we're going to the Turkey Bowl.
Wow.
Now, I got to tell you now, I ain't no double agent because I equally fool with Cadoza, you know. So both of my schools, I'd be happy when I see. But I actually attended Roosevelt.
Okay, hold on. Let's go backwards.
Okay.
So, did you attend Roosevelt, or that's a school you're supposed to go to?
Well, my fourth, 12th grade year, I actually attended my fourth, 12th grade year. My fourth, 12th grade year, I actually attended. But my parents had the store right up the street from Cadoza, so most of y'all my friends with Cadoza, so I kind of And then, man, I got to shout out this little dude, man, Jamal Harvey, just won the World Games.
Oh man, he told me about it.
Yeah, he just won the World Games. It's like the equivalent or in the same stratosphere as the Olympics.
Man,
it's big.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
So he going against Cubans, Russians,
listen,
everybody.
Can you imagine getting on a plane and go anywhere in the world and you number one? Anywhere in this entire world, you number one. Jablip, I'm number one. Kalip, I'm number one. Kazakhstan, I'm number one. Djibouti, I'm number one. Yeah, so
man,
I just
South Africa.
Yeah, he number one.
Wow.
And I want to shout out Jamal Harvey and his coach Daryl. They train over in Oxon Hill, which is big because it's, man, as a boxing coach, man, I'd be happy to see anybody in DMV do their thing, champ. I'd be so happy, man. I'd be so happy, man. So I just want to show it out, man. Good job, man. Keep up the good work.
And it's good too, man, because he's holding up the boxing history of DC, the DMV area.
Yeah.
DC, when I remember in the 80s, like when I was coming up, it was, matter of fact, I think it was more, especially when you came to teenage, it was boxing, football, and basketball.
Yeah.
So it was a boxing town. And not too many towns can say that they were a boxing town. Yeah. So that's pretty amazing that he's holding up, like number one in the world.
Man, that's big, man. So we're gonna talk about the Manosphere today, and that's your territory. You know more about it than me.
Yeah.
Okay, but before we do that, I gotta ask you, what do you think about this Kyle Rittenhouse verdict?
Man, to be truthful, my first quick answer is I didn't think about it.
Okay.
Because like. He's a white dude. He's a white kid. And so I really, to be truthful, I ain't think about it. I really have become disconnected with these events like this because it's rare that you'll find justice, especially when it comes to a white male, when it's come in guns. And then, man, I started to see clips of the youngin crying. Like they said, one thing I read, so they did, I didn't know that, first of all, he had $2 million funded to him for this case. And he's a kid from, he's not a upper middle class white guy.
Gotcha.
He had $2 million, $2 million, first of all. With that money, they did a whole, what would you say, a fake jury.
Right.
They paid 12 people. They did a whole court case.
Right.
And they went through different scenarios. Should he be on the stand or should he not?
Right.
So in one of the scenarios, by him getting on the stand and crying and being emotional, they put him as not guilty.
Right.
So understand, they went through
a mock jury. I'm a mock jury.
Most people, the only...
Man, can't nobody afford that. I can't even pull my real court case. You talking about a mock
jury. They say the last person I think that did something, or maybe not the last person, but one person who was famous for doing that was the OJ trial. They did something similar to that.
Right.
Yeah. So Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
what
So I feel the same, but I kind of followed the case. I seen a thing with Judge Joe Brown, man. He was talking about that he knew the kid was gonna get off, but by law, it was self defense because even though he shot them people, they were chasing him.
They were chasing him.
They was chasing.
And I think that's another thing that kind of made me not think about it because in the end they were chasing the kid.
They was chasing.
But here's something that somebody told me that I didn't think about.
Okay.
He still took a gun across state lines that wasn't legal. Like if you shoot a joker, if we shoot a joker now to come in your house,
right,
that's fine.
Right.
But was that gun registered?
Right.
If that gun ain't registered, you got to do time for that gun.
Right.
So that's the thing.
So that go on the law of white supremacy. Oh man, that trumps everything. Hey, man. That trumps everything. Yeah. So and so, champ. Just one more thing. This lady, Sophia Euriston, she's the lead singer of this group called The Brass Against, and I sent you the video of her, and by the time I sent you the video of her, she was they had banned it. Mm-hmm. So my shout out to my brother Oscar, man, he sent me the video. And so she getting a lot of flack, but basically what happened in the video, she's singing, it's a rock group, she's singing. So the whole time she's singing, she's saying, man, I gotta pee. And so she's saying, I'm not gonna be able to make it to the bathroom, I gotta pee. Hey, anybody want to come up on the stage and let me pee on them? A Caucasian come up on the stage and she urinated. While she urinated on, she said, I think I shot it. You know, I shot it. Like when you defecate and pee at the same time, they call it shot it. She said, I think I shot it. And the dude, and man, hey, Chan, I watched the video and man, she must have drunk a gallon of water that day, man. I was like,
I saw the joint, and you.
Yeah. You
it was disgusting. Yeah, remember you showed me.
Yeah. And so, I think that so she got a lot of flack for people were saying about, man, this is so disgusting, this and that, and this and that. And if you get a chance, her name is Sophia Eurista. If y'all get a chance, check out. But I think for me, if the dude ain't mind getting peed on and she had to pee, man, I'm gonna mind my business, man. Because a lot of people throwing her in the bus and this and that and that, but she say, man, who want to get peed on? He say me.
Yeah, she ain't say she ain't force nobody. They ain't drag it over.
He was happy. That nigga got him. Yeah.
Hey, so
he was so happy, man, when he got up.
To me, the more disturbing thing is that somebody will and the dude looked like a skinhead. Man, the dude was like a big old
bald-headed like you said.
The dude, you would think like this. So it shows that, man, it's a lot of crazy stuff out there.
Man.
And people got a lot of different help, a little different what they call that? Fetishes. Yeah. People got some wild fetishes.
Man, hey, champ, he was happy. He was happy.
You know what was interesting too was that he would be the last person that I would think to do that. Yeah. I thought it'd be like a little small diminutive guy. Yeah. It was a big husky guy just wanted to be abused. Yeah. And peed on. Okay. So yeah, that's it.
So that's gonna take us into the manosphere.
Oh man.
Because
there you go with the
nah, because going into the manosphere, if a man would have took his penis out and peed on a woman, how do you think that would have played out?
Oh my goodness. Hey, Tone. The things that be said in this is not this is not hey.
Yeah. So before we get into this, man, can you give them the definition of a manosphere? Because I didn't really know what it was.
So I give you, as best as I know it. My understanding is it's a reaction to feminism by males. So my thing is, it's like, because feminism and what these men think is that feminism is taking over the world, and they call it a giant gynocracy. whatever was what's when they go gynecologists.
Mm-hmm.
They call in this culture right now under feminism gynocracy.
Okay.
Basically under the woman's womb, or like under feminism.
Right.
And so they're just saying like everything is about the woman, men aren't nothing, and they just kind of like fighting back, saying that that manhood is not toxic, because I think the popular narrative, a lot of people saying toxic. You do anything if you're a male, it's toxic masculinity, toxic masculinity. So that whole thing, they fighting back the narrative of that men are toxic, men destroy the world, men are this, men are bad, men are rape. They're fighting back and saying, yo, no, but men have created this world for you to live in.
Right.
And also they're trying to bring manhood because they feel like men have become more and more soft. Because
I think it's engineered. But
because of the the technical society, men don't have to hunt anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Men make good money sitting in their desk, mm-hmm. not doing anything, mm-hmm. not being active, mm-hmm. and so their whole thing is that men don't have any more rites of passage. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to
restore.
My man,
restore.
They're trying to restore manhood, right?
And all you hear now, man, is it's all right to cry. It's all right when I was growing up, you catch a joke crying, man, and so now it's like, man, if you release that, you won't have mental health. Nah, if you cry, joke's gonna choke you out. It might be different there, but you can show that weakness without.
But it's interesting you say that. Like that's what they're saying. Like if you let these emotions out, you won't have this mental health issues. Yeah. But my thing with the mental health is, of course, it's bottling stuff up. Yeah. That could be one. That is one thing.
Right.
But man, in its essence, is spiritual.
Right.
And we don't have a spiritual. A lot of men don't have a spiritual outlet.
Right.
As far as that's what religion in reality is all about. Right.
Take it to a whole nother level.
No, I mean,
I go with that. I go with that.
So men aren't meditating. Mm-hmm. Men aren't being. In reality, man, a man is supposed to have a certain amount of time to himself.
Yes.
And before this industrial revolution culture that we live in now, TVs on. Like, remember, we was growing up, TV turned off at 12. You can watch TV for a year straight in different channels, right?
All day.
But in the past, even before industrial revolution, men will go out hunt, be in the woods for a while. Yeah. Men will be, and then men went to war with each other. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they went out and then
they built a bond.
They built a bond. Yeah. Plus, you're supposed to have time to yourself.
Camaraderie.
And I think now in this culture, man, men don't. All the masculine traits are being kind of not been removed. It's been removed from. Yeah.
Because what better way to learn how to be a man than being around other men?
Yeah.
Because even, man, a couple more days I'll be 57, but I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. Yeah. And so, we got to talk about this documentary, The Red Pill. If y'all get a chance, check it out. It's called The Red Pill. Mm-hmm. I looked at it, champ, and I was like, I think they had some valid points. But when I seen the joint about the guy talking about that they didn't have houses for abused men, I couldn't feel sorry for them guys. And this is just my opinion, y'all don't get upset with me. But man, if you marry somebody, try to marry somebody you can whoop. Don't have your wife. I ain't even playing. These dudes talking about, man, they wife whooping them and they ain't got no help and this and that. And he was talking about how many houses it is for women. And it's just like 2 houses in the whole United States for men that's getting abused by
their spouse.
Man, I couldn't.
Yeah, you can't even stomach that.
It just was weak to me. And I know sometimes verbal abuse can be just as bad as physical abuse.
Yeah.
And I know some women can say some stuff that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody who close. the closest person to you is always the one that can hurt you the most.
Yeah.
That's his facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they was talking about how men take jobs that, you know, they easy to be disposed of, like far as the military and the fire department and different things like that. But for me, I didn't agree with that because, man, I would rather me be in the military or take a dangerous job than my wife or my mother or my daughter. And so I just think that's, I mean, you know, I think God got it right. He built us differently. And I think the two roles work together, but they work different. Like my man Neil always say, but I wouldn't want my woman going off fighting a forest fight.
Yeah. I thought they were saying that because that with a lot of the feminists, they're not giving a man his prop, and for lack of better word, his props for going to war and fighting for women and fighting for the safety of their family. That's what I thought he was saying.
Maybe you know, you could look at the same thing and see two different things, but a lot of women was like, they were mad because just up to recently they got a chance to be firemen and get into the military, because at first they wouldn't let them in the military.
Yeah.
But I felt like I don't know if it's chauvinistic or not, but I just feel like, you know, maybe they was thinking we want to protect our women. I don't know. I just...
You said maybe who was thinking we want to protect?
Men.
Yeah.
Men.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, because, you know, hey, Champ, we got to...
Historically, women had never been in roles of war.
Yeah.
So for them to like...
So I don't know.
So, yeah.
I think in spots it might be some women. I was just watching this.
Oh, I know in Africa.
Yeah, I just watching this joint on Netflix called Amina.
Oh,
Amina. You see the joint?
Nah, it's an African joint.
It's an African joint.
Yeah, I ain't see it.
Man,
is it good?
It was, and so the premise was good. The acting was terrible. I was like, man, what the? But it's a true story.
Oh, wow.
It was a true story about this lady that reigned as the king of her village for 32 years, and she had to overpower the other villages around here. It's supposed to be a true story. And so in spots, if you look hard enough, you will see women that's warriors, but that's not...
Yeah, that's
not
not how. That's not.
I don't even think that's how God...
Yeah, no, that's not how God created us. Yeah. And I think my problem with the whole with some of the feminist ideology is like instead of if women were in a position that they weren't able to develop all their potentials, even intellectually, like I want to see women develop their feminine potential. We develop our masculine potential, but it seems like a lot of times they're trying to merge the two, like trying to be more man-like, and that's my challenge. Like a woman can have a baby, man. Like if somebody was telling me, man, it's the only creature she can have. It could be two souls habitating one body. That's powerful, man.
That's powerful.
Like so. A woman is always the first teacher to that child, so that's powerful. So my thing is not for a woman to be more masculine, because that's not within her nature. She doesn't. We produce 30 something more. We produce 30% more testosterone than women do. So like our whole.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Shank, while we talking about this, because I feel like. And again, it's my opinion. Just my opinion. I feel like some women want to take on the role of men. And then I feel like I have seen myself, some women that be thrust into the role, like, the father get killed or the father get locked up and stuff, different things as that nature. Yeah. And so this feminine, man, I got to tell you a story, Champ. Yeah. And all these terms are new to me, but I went through this thing because I went to Alice Deal My shout out to Alice. I love my junior high school. I think that's the funnest time I had at school, and I went straight through. I ain't stay back. But anyway.
So you went to Deal.
I went to Deal.
Yeah.
I love Deal. I
remember you always talking about Deal.
I love Deal. And so when I was in the 8th grade, this girl in the 9th grade, she liked me, and I didn't think she was very attractive, and man, the whole school kind of turned on me, or he could see that he think he cute, this and that, and I was kind of bullied into dating this woman. And now, when I think about it, and I listen to a guy like Kevin Samuels that's saying, hey, you women can say that you don't want to date this guy because he broke, or he overweight, he's short, or got a small wee, whatever. But men say the same thing, and he arrogant, pompous, and all this stuff. Yeah. How you feel? How you feel about Kevin Samuels? Because I know, man, most of the women I know hate him.
Man, you know what? I can understand like people getting upset in his tone and demeanor, but I think it's very necessary, because what he's doing is he's showing real time some of these black women's expectations that's super unrealistic. And to
give me an example of what you mean by super unrealistic. Give me an example.
So it's women up there who, there's one woman, and I thought this was a good one. So she was saying, I'm leaving my husband, this and that, blah, blah, blah. My husband, he's not, I have a master's degree. He's not doing he's not doing enough. And he said, ho. He said, she said, we were homeless in a shelter. He said, he was with you one day. She said, yeah, he was with me. Like, but we came, he said, so y'all just came out on hard time. He said, yeah. She said, but I feel like I'm better than this, because, I have a master's degree in this and that, and how many kids you got? I got 3 kids. So then he said, so ma'am, so what are you going to do after you divorce your husband? Well, I need to get somebody that's on my level. He said, so ma'am, you know what he gonna hit.
Right.
How tall are you?
How much you weigh?
What's your
dress size?
She said, I'm 192. He said, how tall are you? I'm 5'4". He said, ma'am.
Hey, Chad, I like the one when he told a lady, he said, man, how tall are you? She was like, I think she said something like 4'5". How much do you weigh? She said 310. He said, you're the size of a professional linebacker. I don't think Lawrence Teller was that big, and he's a Hall of Fame. And she had like 4 kids. Man, I was laughing like that. And y'all don't get mad with me, man. But some of the stuff. But man, I gotta say this though. If you guys do check him out, try to watch the whole show, because I think my man be getting a bad rap sometimes, because they just be showing clips of how he'd be getting on. And he'd be, it'll lead up to, because he'd be like, no ma'am, and then they'd get super aggressive with him. And and then I want to bring this up, because he was like, man, I'm waiting on the LBGTQ to help me out, because every time I call somebody or say something that a person don't like, they call me gay. And they go help out everybody. Lil Nas X, they help him. Yeah, I watch the show.
Man, when they gonna help me out?
They gonna help me out since I'm gay. They won't come help me. Yeah. They call me gay every time I say something. Man, mess, you need to lose weight. He gay. Yeah. He hate women. What happened?
But that's my thing, is he's putting to light these people's expectations. That this woman was gonna, and then he got her to stay. After he went through the whole process, he said, ma'am, nobody gonna take you with 3 kids, overweight, and you're like a 4 at best.
Right. And another thing that because Slim, I'm talking about, because he kind of leading the manosphere. He was like, man, nobody never talks about how many people I got engaged, how many people I got married, how many relationships I saved. All they do is show clips of me down on women, and that's not what I'm doing. And I'm telling women, what's wrong with the blue collar man? Yeah.
And that's what he's saying. And here's the biggest thing. To me, they keep on, women are mad because he's saying don't, like, if you got kids, telling men not to deal with women with kids. It's, you can do it or you can't. But to me, why I think his conversation is important is because now, as younger girls grow up, they'll start to think about these things before they have kids.
Right.
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 I think it's going to change because if, and men, if a man is doing good, like it's true. Like if a woman had kids, you got to take care of her kids.
Right.
Plus, if you have your kids, or plus her kids and her.
Yeah.
Like I seen family members who did that, man,
right.
and went broke taking care of other jokers' kids. So in the end, the conversation's coming out. It may be painful to some women, but for some people, they're gonna take heed and not make the mistakes that a lot of people. Because he's saying, man, it's up to you to have this kid.
But I know, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I know one of your main things that you always talk about, like, hey brother, strap up. And if you decide you want to have a baby, try to make sure to the best of your ability that this woman is worth having a baby with.
Man, this is the most important thing a man can do.
Yeah. Because you want to be there for the long haul. Like, you have a baby, you want to be there.
So many black men, including myself, we can have stories about what you got to go through.
Man,
child support.
They got a dude, I forget his name right now, but he's a... Matter of fact, they got a football player and a basketball player that had babies by IG models and strippers. Yeah. And now they taking them to court and they raping them in court and they mad. Man, she should have did that. Why?
Why not? Yeah, if you dumb enough. Man, but I tell you, it's another good dude. His name is, it's a lawyer, black dude. Yeah. He said something that I thought was super powerful. He said, man, if you making $1 million, he said, you can't walk in the bank and be like, can I touch your $1 million? Yeah. He said, man, they will lock you up. Right. You go in the bank and be like, I just want to touch it. Yeah. He says, no way that somebody who has no
access,
no material wealth, because real rich people don't mess with this broke people. There's no way somebody is just a model should be able to touch a dude who's worth millions and millions of dollars. Man. There's no way. Right. So somebody's not taking care of him properly, like there's no way. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, and that comes back to, bringing, because a lot of these guys, are being raised by their mom and they not getting taught the proper thing, because the father gonna be like, man, man, take these rubbers, man. Yeah. And not no knock on the mother, but some things women just don't know.
Yeah. But one thing I do remember from the older generation, it seems like it's changed a lot, but the old generation, if you was raised by your mom was conscientious of having men around you or making sure that you were manly.
Well, it's the time is so different because the grandma might be 35, the mom might be 20, the little girl might be 10. You got babies raising babies for real. And all of them going to the club together. Wow. Yeah, it's
a different day.
It's a different day. Yeah. So anything you want to add to this chat? This man, the dude Kevin Samuels, he tickles me, man. And people be mad with me about it, but he tickles me, man.
I think he's hilarious. Yeah. He get on men too.
He definitely. Hey, Champ, what about the dude got mad with the lady that had the double major?
He said, my man said, man, black women ain't nothing, they this and that. He said, ho, champ. What's up with your, he said, what? He said, yeah, she a PhD. He said, what do you do? He said, I'm a musician, I drive Uber.
My man said, are you trolling me?
Hold up, are you serious? Are you trolling me?
He was like, nah, I'm serious, man. She don't treat me right, man. I do Uber and every now and then I get a kick. Man, get out of town.
Man, he said, man, you should be lucky that you even get something. Yeah. He said, man, I'm surprised she even let you touch her. Man. So he be getting, but I think it's a good conversation because in the end, it's going to make you think. Right. And I think it's good for men because he's telling men he's telling young men at your age right now to work. If you working 8 hours, you slacking. he's saying, man, you should be doing double.
Step
You
the
should
game.
step your game up.
Yeah, get your money right.
Get your money right, because when you get older, it's gonna help you out.
Get your money right. Invest. He talk a lot about financial stuff.
Yeah.
Invest. Get your money right.
Dressing right. All
right.
this stuff, man. I think it's important, man, and I think it's good for the women. No, just because you don't like it, don't mean that it's not good information, man.
Yeah.
Some women gonna take heed and be like, yeah, maybe that blue collar man, because he gonna tell you, he gonna say, hey, they go like, I want a man make $100,000 now. He said, ma'am, hold on. It's 2 million more black women than men, period.
But hold on, you forgot, because I want a man making over 6 digits. I want him 6'2", ripped up, with no kids. That's what I want. Don't worry about me having 6 kids, about 4 different baby daddies. Man. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, you always got to bring up old stuff. You always bring up old stuff. Yeah, that's done. Yeah, man. Yeah. So I think it's an important conversation, man. Make you think, man. Yeah. But with the manosphere, man, like you said, and you ain't said though, you ain't tried. You hinted at it, but you ain't say those men were weak. Talking about,
Hey man, that red pill thing, man. I watched it. I think it was weak. I think I come up in the era where men supposed to be men that get out here, man, and try to make it happen. If a burglar come through the door, not saying but he supposed to go out there. And if he got to put his life on the line, to protect his family, like I don't want my wife to protect. So I felt like it was
a men's shelter. That was real.
A men's shelter,
man. Yeah.
Go live in your mother's basement till you get yourself together, then get your own joint, man.
But one thing in the red pill that I thought was interesting. Remember when all the Nigerian girls were took? Mm-hmm. One thing they said in that joint was that what you don't know is that it was thousands of men who were killed, and they said that all this, but nobody said that when all these black men were killed and taken, all these little boys.
Just disposable power, like we disposable.
You disposable. So I thought that was interesting. He said, don't nobody talk about like 6 girls got took, and the whole world, Obama wife talking about it, but they ain't say when those black men were being killed, almost like what's happening now though. Yeah. When those black men were being killed, the black men or those little boys getting as little soldiers, then nobody say nothing. Right. So
I agree.
So I thought that was good information. But the rest, like all that complaining about a shelter for beaten men, that's crazy, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I thought that's what Manosphere is trying to bring back, like manhood, like stop accepting all this weak stuff.
Yeah.
And like what I've heard women say, man, like, okay, you cry when you have your, of course you're gonna cry on certain moments. Yeah. But what I try to tell a friend of mine was talking about this crying. So I said, back in the day, a man didn't have time, like nobody got time to cry.
Ain't nobody.
A man has to make it happen.
You gotta make it happen. Yeah. And certain things like death or whatever, but just everything. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I might watch a movie, be crying like my wife be in there laughing at me. So man. So
all those people you done knocked out over here crying.
But you can't stay there. You get your tears, you keep moving. You can't just stop and feel sorry for you. We just ain't got time for it. Yeah. So we good, champ?
Man, we good, man. Okay. Yeah, that's all I got, man.
Okay, I appreciate that. I just was thinking about that. I want to get into it. I really don't know too much about it, but I just want to, check it out.
Oh, also, just another note about the manosphere. It seems like in this new age, a lot of men are having problems getting women. And so the manosphere is kind of, what I see is trying to kind of help men, like, to be more assertive with women and understand the nature of women. Because a lot of men out there complain about, like, they don't want me because I'm 5'4". And so you got some men in the manosphere be like, man, I grew up with dudes who 5'3", man, and funny looking and had all the girls. It's about your swag and this and that, confidence and all that. So a man, I seen a man.
I apologize. I can't help you with this, man. I apologize. You speak on.
Man, forget you. But that's what's happening, man.
Man,
that's what's happening, man. It seems like, man, they call it's. I didn't know it's a lot of terms after I've been watching it, like incels. So I heard it's a lot of men, and I'm assuming from what I saw it's mostly white men, but it's a lot of men who are like in their 20s and never had sex, and it's a lot of. I didn't know it's a big thing with men. They saying that only a small, even now they saying that only a small amount of men are really getting some. Like all the women are going to the more massive men, and it seems like there's a lot of soft men out there. And this could just be
so let me get this right.
culture.
Let me understand what you're saying. And so it might be one masculine man knocking off 5 or 6 women.
Yeah.
And you know the little timid guy just ain't.
Yeah, he ain't getting nothing.
He ain't getting nothing.
Yeah.
Man,
so that's and you know, and I'm not trying to say it's just in the white community, but when I saw the match, some of the stuff that I've been watching, it was a lot in the white community, like, you know, I guess white middle class community. Like, it's a lot. Like the kid, I don't remember. You remember years ago, the kid in L.A., California, killed those girls at the college. You remember that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, man, California, the kid in the BMW, he killed those kids. He killed those people in the at the college. He ran up and killed all those girls.
Oh.
Yes, and then the kid, he had a BMW. He was coming from a middle class family, and he was a handsome joker. Right. He wasn't a bad looking dude, but he said women don't like me. Women hate me, and he killed like college. Yeah, he killed like about 4 or 5 girls.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Freaked out, then killed himself. Yeah,
man, that's crazy.
And they were saying he was an incel, and I think it's incel, basically a dude who just couldn't get women, but wanted to get women, but just couldn't get them.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I think that's what the manosphere is trying to.
And so, man, we gotta get more information on this and come back to this. We might have some incel jokers watching the joint right now.
Nah, not in DC, man.
Not in DC?
Yeah. Maybe, could be.
Man, you never know. You never know. But you know, that's the problem. Like we you know, a lot of times we don't know. Like people you think got together. Yeah, man, they don't be doing as good as you know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, people, yeah. So, man, we're gonna close. I want to shout out my main man, Earl, brother Nunu, man. Every time we do a show, he call me up or he see me and he comment on the show.
Oh man, yeah.
Good dude, and he gonna let me know whether it's good or bad. He a thoroughbred. He a throwback.
Throwback. He ain't trying to go no shelter, nothing.
Nah, he ain't going out. He a man. He's a man. Hey, homie, you fumble the ball, that's your baby. He gonna let me know. He gonna give me the game. That was a mean joke that time.
We need that. Thank you, brother. Thanks for support.
Yeah. Okay, brother Nunu.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Mind, body, and soul. You know how we go.
Man, always give God the glory. Without God, man, we couldn't do nothing, man.
Man, all praise.
I'm trying to tell you, man, whether it's good or bad, because you always get another chance as long as you wake up.
As long as you wake up, man.
Yeah.
Because one day you won't.
One day you won't.
So make it your best.
Yeah. And I'm gonna end this joke in the word if Dave Chappelle stop acting like a bitch ass nigga.